Hello everyone, this is Shatrapa and today we are going to look into some of the verbal ability questions. So these are mostly oriented to any kind of mass recruiting companies, may that be Infosys, Wipro, TCS, Accenture, anything, right? But these questions that I specifically picked, they belong to Infosys, they have been asked to Infosys, but yeah, they are applicable everywhere because it's a verbal ability question and basically the rules remain the same. So what we are going to do is we are going to get started with the question. I'll give you 20 seconds, work on it, and then we'll see how to actually solve this. All right. So this is your question. It says to find the error in the given sentence, read the sentence. Your 20-second has started, by the way. Read the sentence and guess the answer. What is the error? Or there's no error in this statement, so you don't need to change it. No improvement needed. All right. So if you read the question, it says that find the error and it starts with the word despite. Okay. Now there is a rule. Remember, we are going to encounter few rules. So just write down. There's a rule that the word despite, this is followed by a noun or a subject. Okay, it has to be a noun or a subject. So this of is not a noun. It is not a subject. So you technically have to get rid of this of because here you have the subject. His. Despite his hard work, he failed in the examination. Not despite of his. I know it's a very common way of how we speak that, oh, despite of his hard work, he failed in his examination. No. The rule says that despite itself says that like he did everything he could. Even after that, he couldn't pass the examination, right? So the word despite has to be followed by a noun or a subject, right? So despite his hard work, he failed in the examination. It is not despite of. So where is the right answer? Your right answer is in option 1. That is despite his hard work. All right. So moving on to the next. It's again same. Your 20-second has started. So it says that find the error. The statement is the meeting has been postponed to next week, Friday. All right. So this question has something called as the double identification. What is a double identification? It basically means we are referring to one single object in two different ways. That is called as double identification. Okay. What is the word that we use? We are saying that the meeting has been postponed to next week, Friday. Okay. Two things here. Either it's next week or it's next Friday. Okay. There is nothing as next week, Friday. Okay. If I am talking about today and today is a Wednesday, the moment I say next Friday means the Friday that will come day after tomorrow. Okay. And if I want to talk about the Friday that is coming next week, then I will say we'll have the meeting next week. I won't say next week Friday. Or I can say we can have meeting later next week. Okay. But I won't refer Friday along with week. Why? Because I'm referring to a day and I cannot combine it with a week. Okay. So this becomes a double identification. If I'm precisely mentioning the date, then that has to be next Friday. Okay. And if today is Wednesday, the next Friday will be day after tomorrow. And if I'm talking about the Friday that's going to come next week, then we'll say we'll have the meeting later next week. Or you'll just say we'll have the meeting next week. That's it. Okay. You do not use week and the day together. Otherwise, if you just want to refer it to next year, January, you wouldn't say that we'll be doing it next year, January. You will say we are going to do it next year. That's it. Okay. Got it. So either you use has been postponed to next week or you just remove week because we don't have an option over here like that. So it becomes the meeting has been postponed to next Friday. So you have it in option number 1, next Friday. Okay. The others are not correct. Postponed till Friday next week? No. Until the Friday after next week? No. Okay, this is precisely incorrect even grammatically, but this is also incorrect, okay, because you're mentioning Friday, that means definitely the next Friday or the coming Friday, okay? So you don't have to put it up along with week. So here your answer option is in option 1. All right. So moving ahead to the next question. Similarly, just find the error in the given question. You have 20 seconds to do it. Okay. So it says find the error. The statement says that hardly he had reached the station when the train left. So do you understand the overall meaning of the station of the sentence, that the train left just when he reached the station, right? That is the overall meaning. Now, the word hardly is always used in a negative intent, okay? That this was about to happen, but it couldn't, in that kind of intent. Hardly is always used as a negative intent word. Remember this, okay? So if a statement starts with hardly, then it must be followed by a questioning word. It must have a word that is questionable, okay? Something that is questioning, like what, when, how, had, did. Okay, all of these are questioning words, right? These are words which can be associated with question tag. So hardly he had reached the station when the train left. So you don't need this subject in between hardly and the question tag. Okay, you can just simply say hardly had he reached the station when the train left. Okay, you don't need the subject in between hardly and this. Hardly has to be always followed with a questioning word, okay, a word that is questioning something, okay? So you will remove the subject and bring it here. So your subject won't be here. It should become hardly had he reached the station when the train left. So do you see an option like that? I guess it's in option 3. Hardly had he reached the station when the train left. So this is a rule that along with any kind of negative intent word, you always use a questioning word. Okay, if the word is hardly, there is another word just like hardly, which will come probably later in this question set. Remember that if you have hardly, it is a negative intent word, should be followed by a questioning word, okay, and cannot be followed by a subject. Moving on to the next question. Guess this is a simple question. Your 20 seconds have started. Just try to complete the whole sentence. Okay. So it says that if he dash earlier, he would not have missed the bus. Okay. If you know a rule that would is always used in scenarios that are unreal. Okay. Unreal. If he studied, he wouldn't have failed, right? Unreal. All right. So what does it say? That if he would have reached the bus stop earlier, then he would not have missed his bus. So technically, he missed his bus. So would is again being used in a very unreal situation, because this situation is not going to happen because he has already missed the bus. So when he has already missed the bus, that means what is it? It is past tense. It's in the past. It has already happened. The bus has left. The bus is gone and he cannot catch it. So if he should be followed by something in the past. Now, if you go through the word, he was leaving? No. Would leave if he would leave earlier? No. Because we already have would here, we won't put would, right? So that is also incorrect. It will become had left. Okay, both has to be in past tense. If he had left earlier, he would not have missed the bus. All right. I hope these questions are not difficult. It just needs a little of understanding that what will actually fit in. And these are certain rules I want you guys to remember, because these will come really handy. Okay. Moving to the next one, you got to complete the sentence. This is a pretty easy one. And I hope everyone gets it right. So your 20 seconds up. It says that she is very good dash playing the piano but weak dash mathematics. So there is one thing, good comes with a particular kind of conjunction called as at, and weak comes with something called as in. Okay, always. You are good at something, you're weak in something. Okay, so it's good at and you're weak in. So this is a rule, a very good rule that can be asked multiple times, and your answer is in option number 3. It's not that difficult, it's a very straightforward rule implementation. Okay, now again, find the error in this given question, in the given statement. All right, so your 20-second has started. Okay, so if you see, it uses the word no sooner. Now, just like hardly, no sooner is also a negative intent word. Okay, it's a negative intent word. So this also must be followed by a questioning word, right? And in this case, it's did. No sooner did, which is correct. It's not wrong. It's perfectly right. No sooner did the bell rang. Now, I already have a past tense, right? I already have a past tense telling me that did, which is a past, right? Did is in past. The next thing, next object, next subject did not be in past tense. We don't have to make that in past tense. That has to be in the present tense. Okay. Now that we have already used past, right? Did is past of do. So we don't have to justify it further that that had happened in the past. We can keep rang to ring. Okay. So the answer will be no sooner did the bell ring than the student rushed out. Okay. The moment the bell rang, the student just went out the class. Okay. So no sooner did the bell ring. So your answer is in option number 2. Okay. No double uses of past forms. Do not do that. Okay. If one is already in past form and is in the correct position, the other subject does not have to really become in the past tense. It can stay in the present tense. All right. The next one, your 20 seconds starts now, and it's a simple correction, I guess, and we use this statement every single day. So I guess all of you would get this right. All right. So simple rule, okay? This is another rule like good is to at, right? Similarly, deals is to with. Okay, why? You remember big people who, when they crack a deal, they say, I made a deal with XYZ company. So you deal with. Or when your mom is angry, she just says that I have to deal with you every single day. So deal comes with and not an article. The is an article, so we don't need this article. We use with. The new manager deals with the staff or just deals with staff very rudely. Okay. So I guess that is an answer option 3. That is deals with staff. All right. Moving to the next one. Now, this is pretty interesting, and I guess you can just figure it out from the answer options. Okay. Still, I'll give you 20 seconds. Go for it. All right. So, what is obstinate? Obstinate basically means someone who's difficult to change their views. Okay. Like someone who's very stubborn, I would say, someone who's just fixed on their own ideology and they don't want to change at all. Okay. So, that is what is obstinate. Obstinate is actually more harder than just being fixed, it's more like stubborn. Someone who's just impossible to just change, impossible to explain, very rigid. Okay, and very adamant. So it's asking for an antonym. So antonyms basically means opposites. So obstinate is synonym with adamant, stubborn, and rigid because these three mean the same. And you could have probably figured it out from the options because stubborn, adamant, and rigid, they all mean almost the same thing, that it's very hard to change, hard to just mold it in a different way, right? So your correct answer is flexible. That is the antonym. It's asking for you to choose the opposite. So your answer option is in option number 2. Oops. So there you go. You have find the error question again, and your 20 seconds have started. So when you read this statement, each of the students have submitted their assignment. What do you clearly understand from this? That a single student, say a class has 5 students, and student 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, they all have submitted their individual assignment, right? Like he has submitted assignment 1, this has submitted assignment 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So that means each of the students, means every single student, have submitted. Have is used when it's plural, but each is singular. This is used when it's plural, and this is a singular, right? You don't use plural with singular. You have to change have to a singular form. What is the singular form of have? It is has. So this will become each of the students has submitted their assignment. So I guess it's in option number 3, has submitted their. Now it won't be his, right? Because we are still referring to students, right? And each of them has submitted. So it is going to be their assignment and has submitted. All right. So again, this is a rule, okay? Do remember these rules, very important. Coming to the last but not the least question, your 20 seconds have started. Find the error in the given sentence. Okay. So the question says the teacher as well as the students are excited about the trip. Now, what is the subject in this question? Is the subject the teacher or is it the student? The subject is the teacher, okay, not the student. It's along with the students. So the main subject is your teacher, okay? And what is the form of the teacher? The subject is in singular form, right? Since it is in singular form, this can't be in plural form. The R is in plural, right? So this can't be in plural form. You have to change this into singular. Now, what is singular of R? It is, right? So, where is the error? Error is at this part. Are excited, right? And this is right here in your option number 3. Now, before I end this video, there is one thing that you need to know. The last 2 question is based on something called as the subject-verb agreement. Okay. A very, very important topic from verbal ability point of view, may that be for Infosys, TCS, Wipro, anyone. You will definitely receive or get questions based on the subject verb agreement. Definitely, without a doubt. All right. So you need to know how to identify a subject in the given sentence. And with that, you have to see what is the verb used. This is the verb, right? Verb used. So if it is in singular, it has to be singular. If this is plural, this has to be plural. Okay. It is always singular subject plus singular word. Similarly, plural subject plus plural word. Okay, this is the rule of subject verb agreement, and you must remember. And this question is also a part of the subject verb agreement. Okay, here our subject was each, and the verb used was have, which is wrong. Since this is singular, this too has to be in singular form, and that is why we changed it to has. All right. The question says complete the sentence. Neither the manager nor the employees dash responsible for this error. All right. So if you look closely at the sentence, neither, okay? Neither is a singular form, okay? But the moment neither is combined with nor, the sentence having neither becomes insignificant. So you have to ignore this part. This does not hold value anymore the moment it is combined with the word nor. Okay. So nor is now having a new statement. The employees. Now, what is the subject over here? Employees. This is your subject. And if your subject is in plural, so what will be your answer? Your answer will also be in plural form. So that is are, and that is an answer option 2. Okay, so remember this rule that if neither is just neither is there in the question, then it is in singular form. You will use the word, sorry, you'll use the noun or the subject that is tagged along with neither. But the moment neither is combined with nor, you ignore the whole part of neither. That becomes completely insignificant. And you just focus on the next half that starts right after the nor. Okay. And that makes employees the subject, and employees is a plural. So the verb will also be plural, right? Similarly, all other questions are also subject verb agreement. So take a look at this. Your 20 seconds have started. Says complete the sentence. The list of books dash on the table. All right. So it says the list of the books. Now, books is plural, right? But what is on the table? The list is on the table, right? The list of the books is on the table. Since the list, now what form is this? Singular, right? Since the list is on the table, what will be filled up here? It will have a singular form of verb, right? So it will be is. Okay, and that's an answer option 3. Got it? Always look for the subject that is defining the statement. This is the subject verb agreement. So always look for the subject that defines the statement. Okay. The list is on the table, not the books. The list of the books. Okay. So technically the list is on the table, right? Going ahead to the next one. This is also a verb, subject verb agreement. Take a look. Okay. So it says mathematics dash one of my favorite subjects. Okay. Mathematics dash one of my favorite subject. It is one, right? This one also implies that this is singular, and mathematics itself is a singular form. Okay. Just because S is there doesn't make it plural, because it's the name, right? So this is going to be is. Do you see a is? Yes, it's in option number 2, right? It's not difficult, not at all. If you know how to figure out the subject that is defining the whole statement, you have your answer right there. Won't even take you 20 seconds, right? So the next question, go for it. You have 20 seconds. All right. So it says each of the students dash to submit their assignment by Friday. Each. Now we have already done a similar kind of question in the previous video. Each is basically aiming to be singular, right? Singular. Since it is singular, form of what? Singular form of student. That means each and every single student has to complete or has to submit their assignment by Friday. Now Friday is in future, right? So what will come here? First, it has to be in singular form. So if you see, are is a plural, were is a plural, have is definitely a plural. So what is left is one. So it has to be is required. All right. So your answer is in option number 1. Each of the students is required to submit their assignment by Friday. Right. Moving ahead to the next one. Okay. So it says either the actors or the director dash to attend the rehearsal. Either means any one of them. Either simply means any one of them has to attend. Any one. So again, what does this imply? It is a singular form, right? Since it is in singular form, what will it be? If you look into the option, were, it can't be. Are is also plural. Have is also plural. Left with just one thing, that is has to attend. Okay. So your answer option is in option number 1. Going to the next one. Your 20 seconds starts now. Okay. Now this is slightly tricky. Okay. Remember, whenever, what is a committee? A committee is a singular form, right? Committee consists of multiple people, so they are plural, but committee as a word is singular, which is defining multiple things, right? Now, this is singular form, okay? But the trick is, if I say, talk about a couple, right? So, couple are two people, but the word itself is singular, right? Similarly, committee includes a group of people, where group of people are in plural form, but the word committee is singular form, right? So, we need to use something here that justifies what did the committee do today. Okay, so committee yet to decide. Why? Because it is going to be deciding. It is going to decide. It's not even decided, it's going to be deciding. Whenever it is in the future along with the singular thing, you always use the plural form of verb. Okay, so it won't be meet, it won't be meeting, because meeting, deciding can't come together. Have met is in the past, so you use call something as meets. The committee meets deciding on new policies today. All right, moving on to the next one. Now, again, this is on the same concept, okay? Bouquet of flowers. So, bouquet is singular. Just think about it, okay? All right. So, bouquet is singular. Flowers may be in plural. But what does it say? The bouquet of flowers dash on the doorstep. So, if I'm seeing the bouquet of flowers on the doorstep, that means someone had left it before, right? It didn't happen right in front of me. It's not future, it's not present, it's past. So when the thing has happened in the past with singular, what you get is a singular form of verb. You don't bring the plural form of verb. Okay, but this one, the previous one, was in future. This was happening in future. Okay, so that is why what came was a plural form of verb. But here, this has already happened in the past, because what I see is a bouquet of flowers lying on my doorstep, right? So if that is the case, it's in the past. Someone has left it over there. So I'll use the singular form of verb. All right. So what will be used? This is not singular. This is not singular. This is not singular. It is was left. So it was left on the doorstep. So your answer is in option number 2. Right. Going to the next one. Here you have the word couple. So what do you think what it will be? And it is an amazing combination with even a future thing. So pretty interesting. Okay. So when it is basically saying okay, the couple along with their children arriving tomorrow. Now what will you say, ma'am? This is singular. This is in future, right? It's tomorrow. So what it should be? It should result in plural verb, right? The couple along with their children are arriving tomorrow. That should be the case, right? According to the rule. But if you look closely, it doesn't say that couple and their children arriving tomorrow. It says couple along with their, along. Okay. So who is the subject that is defining the statement? The couple. Okay. And what are we using? We are using along with. So they are an added factor, just like the actors and the directors on the previous question that we saw. Okay. So what will it have? It won't have the plural, rather, it will have the singular verb. Okay. So that will be your is. So I know this is a little confusing, but with practice, you will get there, because English is a funny language and we have changed rules as and when we have felt like changing it. Okay. Right. Moving on to the next one. Again, this is pretty interesting question. Okay, go for it. Okay. So what does it say? It says none of the information is in singular form, right? Information is in singular form. But it says none of the information. That means that definitely there were more than one information, right? So it's not referring to one single information, it is referring to many information, which means it's in plural form. So what comes up here is a plural verb like seems. Okay, none of the information seems accurate. Okay, it won't be are seeming. You don't use none of them along with are seeming. Are does not come. You directly use the word. Okay. Moving on to the next one. You have your 20 seconds. Give it a shot. Okay. Number of participants dash increasing every year. We usually say that number of participants are increasing every year, right? Why? Because participants is what we focus on. But who is the subject? The number is the subject over here. And what is this number? It's singular. Number is never plural. Number is singular. So what will you use here? You'll use is, right? That is an answer option 2. Got it? Now, we have preposition based MCQs right now. So give it a try. This should be very direct and straightforward because you directly use the prepositions. Okay, so if you read the question, it says, please put the document dash the envelope. Now, what do you do with the document? You put the document inside your envelope, right? That goes inside, correct? So if it goes inside, what will be the answer? Into. You don't even have to look at rest of them if you know exactly where the documents are placed in an envelope, which I'm pretty sure we all know, right? So please put the documents into the envelope. Why not on the envelope? I mean, it's kind of correct, but when I'm asking you to put it on the envelope, does that critically make sense? Like, what am I going to do if you just put it on the envelope? I want to put it inside the envelope so I can at least post it, right? So, logical, it does not fit with on, okay? Because if you actually think about it, so the preferred answer is into. All right, the next one. Okay, so do you read the question? It says that she has been living in the city dash 5 years. This is an exact time. This is an exact time. Now, when we specify a time, like exactly that, oh, she has been here like for 5 years. Okay. So, what am I going to use? I just said the answer. I just gave it out. That is for, right? She has been living in this city for 5 years. So, when do we use since? We use since when it's like a time period. She left the city since she was 2. Okay. So for means still continuing, since can be used in the past as well or past continuous. Okay. So I would insist that you would look into all the difference of using since, for, and by, right? But when you're given an exact duration and you're talking in present that she is living in this city dash 5 years, it's always for. Okay. She has been living, she's because she's still continuing to live. Okay. So that's where you use for, right? Moving on to the next one. This is a direct rule, and I hope everyone knows this. Okay, so this is basically a conjunction word called as a conjunction word. That means keen always goes with one thing, on. He is keen on improving his English. Okay, keen always goes with a conjunction word called as on. Okay, so your answer is in option number one, that is on. The next one. I know there can be multiple answers for this, but you have to choose the accurate one. Okay. All right. They walked dash the park after dinner. There can be few things. You don't walk beside the park. Okay. You don't walk beside the park. Beside means next to the park. How are you going to walk next to the park? That does not make sense. You walk through the park. Like how? You just broke through the walls of the park and just started walking straight into the garden and into the playground and then you walked out. No, you don't walk through. Okay. So you walked over the park. Over comes into picture only when you are walking on something. So what will you say? I was walking on the ground or over the ground, over the grass. That's fine. Over the carpet. That's okay. Over the park. Park is a location, right? It's huge. So not over the park. They walked around the park. Now this makes sense that if this is a park, then they started to walk in around the park. They took multiple rounds around the park. Okay. So this will come with around. Okay. That is an answer option 4. Right. Moving to the next one. This can have two answers and which will be logically correct. Okay. So go for it. I'll give you marks on whatever you choose. All right. The question says, I will start working dash Monday. Now, I will start working on Monday, which is correct, right? I will start working on Monday. I'm just telling someone that, oh, I got a new job and I start working on Monday, right? I'm telling them the exact thing. It's not Monday. You are not into, you cannot get into a day or at Monday. No, there's nothing as at Monday. It's not a location. Monday is not a location, it's a time. I will start working by Monday. This is also correct. It's like I'm telling someone that, oh, you want this work to be done. This has to be done on Friday. That has to get done by Friday. So I'll start working by Monday. Okay. So it's basically continuation of something. That is when you say you're going to use the word by. But if it is a fresh start, you usually use on. Okay. And since the intent of the writer is not mentioned here, whether you choose on or you choose by, you will get marks for both. Okay. So it can either be 1, it can be 4. Both are fine. Okay. Moving to the next one. All right. So it says the conference will begin dash AM sharp. So suppose I say 9 AM sharp. I probably think there's a typing issue. So it says that 9 AM sharp. Now the term sharp means exact at that moment. Okay. So when it's exact, it's at. Okay. A particular specific time, location, date, venue. Okay. So that is when we say the conference will begin at 9 AM sharp. Exact dot 9 a.m. we are going to begin the conference. All right. So your answer option is here in 1. Go for the next one. This is also pretty simple. I guess we use it every day, so no one should get it wrong. Okay. The question says that she apologized dash being late. So why did she apologize? Because she was late, right? So whenever an action is followed by the reason, this is the action, this is the reason. What is the conjuncting word? That is for. Okay, she apologized for being late. Okay, so if the action, that is she apologizing, she's saying sorry, and that sorry is followed by a reason, then that is being late in the statement, then you use the preposition for. All right, the next one. Okay, there is a missing thing again here. I'm sorry for the typo error. It says his promotion, not just promotion. All right, so we congratulated him dash his promotion. With his promotion is incorrect. To his promotion is also incorrect. So the answer is debatable between for and on, right? Usually we use on when it is happy events. So is his promotion a happy event? Yes, it is. So without even considering for, just go with on. We congratulated him on his promotion. Okay, right? Got it? The next one. All right. The cat jumped dash the sofa. Not in the sofa. It can't go inside the sofa, right? That's not possible. Jump under? No. He can crawl under the sofa, he can slide under the sofa, but he cannot, he can roll under the sofa, but he cannot jump under the sofa. He cannot make a jump from top to bottom and straight dive in under the sofa. That's not possible. It's a cat and not a ball. So there can be two things: across the sofa and over the sofa, right? But usually you use across only when you know that this jumping will be an horizontal action. Okay, just an horizontal action, like he swam across the river. Why? Because that's an horizontal action, you just go in one straight line, right? But jumping can be in any way, in any direction, right? So we usually use over. Okay, when it's not an horizontal action or we don't know the direction of the action, it is over. Okay, not across. So your answer is in option number 2, right? Going to the last question, and I'm pretty sure we have solved this in the last video as well. So I hope that you get the right answer to this and it's not that complicated. All right. So just like keen, good comes with a conjuncting word. What is that? Good comes with at. We learned this in the last video, right? Good comes with at, weak comes with in, keen comes with on, right? So good at, he is good at playing piano. Your answer is in option number 1. Okay, give it a try. It says one of the big misapprehensions about mathematics is that what will it be? Will it be perpetrate or will it be perpetuate? In our classrooms, that the teacher always seems to, I missed out a word, seems to have the answer to any problem that is discussed. Okay, seems to have. Now you need to know meaning of these two words. Okay, all right, so let's take a look. What does perpetrate means? Perpetrate means carry out or commit. What does perpetuate mean? I guess we have used this word perpetuate in many conversations. So perpetuate means to make something continue indefinitely. Okay, so it basically means to continue Indefinitively. Oops. All right. So, what is the biggest mistake that we all make? We think that our teachers know the answer to any problem that is being discussed, right? So, what will that be? That is that mean to make something continue indefinitely? No, it's not continuing indefinitely. It's going to just mean that he's going to carry out or he's just committed to solve that math question. Okay. So it's rather more of like a misapprehension, a misthinking, a misconception that about mathematics that we perpetrate in our classrooms, that we carry out or we commit in our classrooms, that the teacher always seems to have the answer to any problem that is discussed. Okay. So if you read the sentence with the meaning of this word, it will make sense. So your answer is in option number A, that is perpetrate. All right. Now, moving to the next one. It's a similar kind of a sentence. Give it a try. Your 20 seconds have started. All right. The Iran government attempts to distract populace and populace from protesting in the street. Right? I know we are very acquainted with this word populace. Populace means densely populated, having a large population, right? It's like India is a populous country. Okay, populous means it's large population or it's densely populated. So just let me put it down. Populous. This means large population, or it also means densely populated. On the other hand, there's a word called populace. Okay, what does this word means? It means people. It refers to people living in a particular area. Okay, it basically refers to a people living in a particular area or location or country, anything. Okay, whatever you want to say. Okay. So what is Iran government trying to do? It's trying to distract. Okay, trying to distract means trying to avoid the people of that country or of that area, trying to avoid them to do any kind of protests on the street. So it has nothing to do with large population. So it's rather referring to populace, that is in option A, right? So what the Iran government attempts to distract the people living in Iran from protesting in the streets, right? Making sense? Good. Let's move on to the next one. Now, this is again a very similar kind of thing, but I guess it's pretty easy because if you know meaning of any one of the words, I guess you can just figure out which one is right. All right. So it says that a consultant last week raised hope amongst the residents that there might be an okay, there's an extra alternate. I'm sorry. You can just ignore this. Okay, that's nothing to do. This is an option. Alternate, like I wrote it twice, so that's my bad. So a consultant last week raised hopes among the resident that there might be an alternate or alternative to rerouting the freight trains through through city neighborhoods. Okay, so what will you use? Alternate or alternative? What will come here? Now, what does the word alternate means? Alternate means something that is happening in turns, okay, one after the other. Okay, like you can say that okay, in a classroom students sat all in alternate position as a boy and a girl, a boy and a girl, like they were alternate, right, having turns or each other or second in the series. Okay, so these are multiple things that alternate means. Okay, pick up the card that is alternate in the row. So what will you do? You'll pick one, then you'll pick three, then you'll pick five, then seven, or you'll pick two, then four, then six and eight, so on and so forth. So something that's happening in turns. Then what is alternative? Alternative basically means having two or more choices. That is alternative. Okay, having two or more choices. It's not one or more, because if there's just one, you don't have a choice. So it has to be at least two or more. Okay, so what will fit in over here? It will fit in that a consultant last week raised hope amongst the resident that there might be an alternative, a different rerouting, different route, or a different change in the path or direction of the freight trains through the city neighborhood. Okay, not alternate. It won't happen in turns. It won't happen one after the other or one day after the other day. No, it's going to happen using alternative route. Okay, where the freight trains will be rerouted. So your answer is in option B, that is alternative. All right. So moving on to the next one. This is also pretty similar, like alternate and alternative, only if you know the meanings, right? Give it a shot. All right. It says that, and unlike other pollutants, no effective, commercially practicable or practical control technology exists. Now, what does the word practicable means? Practicable means it's basically capable of being done. Okay, it's capable of being done. Okay, like you can do it. It is something that is practicable, something that can be done. Okay, what is practical then? We often relate practical. We say, oh, this is pretty practical to do, right? But what should we actually be using? We should be actually using it as practicable to be completed or to be done, right? What is practical then? Practical is basically relating to practice, okay? Or capable. Or if you just want to compare it with practicable, you can just say or capable of what? Of being put to use. Okay. Usually they say a good use, but I mean anything that is just practicable to use, right? That is practical. Okay. That is practical. Practical means basically it's capable of being put to use. It is capable, it is possible, it's a possibility. But when it comes down to practicable, it means that we are for sure aware of the fact that this can be done. Like if I say I have to carry out this research experiment and I just have 100 uh, GPU, or I just have, say, 6 hours to train this model. So I'll just think that, okay, this is practicable to be done. Or I will say it's not practicable to be completed in the given time, right? But when it comes to practical, I'll say, oh, I have to do this thing and to just figure out whether it is practical or not. So, practical stage before where I still have the question that whether this can be done or not. Practicable is when I have done my analysis and I'm sure that, oh, okay, this can be done. We can do it. Okay. So, what will be the answer here? It says that unlike other pollutant, no if commercially dash control exists. He or she is sure that there exists no control technology. That means practicable. They are sure. In practical, you are not sure. You are going to experiment, right? So your answer is in option number A, that is practicable. Unlike other pollutants, no effective commercially practicable control technology exists, right? Okay, now there's a different kind of question that we'll start from here called the change of voice. Okay, now what is change of voice? Whether it is passive, active, or direct, indirect, you're going to think about it, right? Your 20 seconds starts now. Give it a shot. All right. So what does it say? It says all the exams were passed by Alex. Now there is a word called by. Now, when do you use this by? So, if you remember the active passive chart by heart, which is available plentifully on internet, guess it's something that you must go through and keep it in your head. Few rules are there. So, yeah. So, if you are using by is used in passive voice. Okay. So, if this statement is in passive voice, you have to change the voice. That is the question. So, you have to change it to active voice, definitely. So, when it comes to active voice, Remember, it starts with the subject plus the verb plus the object. So, what is the subject? Subject is Alex. So, Alex should be at the beginning of the sentence, right? What is the object? We'll not consider verb now. What is the object? Object is all the exams. Okay, so all the exams. Now, if you look into the answer option, all of them start with Alex, all of them ends with all the exam, right? Now, what are we concerned with? We are concerned with the verb, right? Now, what is the verb that we have in the statement is past. Just put it in there. And there you go. That is your statement. Alex passed all the exams. You don't even have to look into the answer options, okay, for this. So I guess it's in option number one. Yep. Right. Your answer is right here. Alex passed all the exams. So we have successfully converted passive to active voice. Next one. This is also change of voice. So think about it. Okay. So it says chairman has made a new rule, right? Who's the subject? Chairman, definitely. Now, chairman is in the start of the sentence. What does this imply? It implies that the whole statement is given in active form and you have to convert that into passive, right? Now, since you have to convert it into passive, what is the rule for passive? Passive says first the object, then the verb, then the subject. What is your object? Your object is a new rule, right? This is your object. What is your subject? We'll come to the verb later. What is your subject? Chairman, or to be very precise, the chairman, right? What is your verb form here? Has made. He has already made it, right? Right? So what will it be? It will become using something using has. So put it down here. Has been. Okay, it has to be in past continuous. A new rule has been, obviously you'll put made because he did what with the new rule. A new rule has been made by the chairman. Okay, by obviously because we are converting it to passive. Okay, so where do you see that? I guess that is in option number two. A new rule has been made by the chairman. Okay, so once you know that passive is basically object, verb, subject, and active is just the opposite, subject, verb, object, I don't think there is an issue in solving these active passive forms, right? So the answer is in option number two. A new rule has been made by the chairman. Going to the next one. It's a similar change of voice, but what is this? You need to figure it out. And this is not tolls, it is told. Okay, just ignore that typing error. Okay, so it says the teacher told Maria that she was not working hard. Now, told, right? What does this imply? Told means that this is a direct indirect speech form, right? This is a direct indirect speech. Now, it uses told, so it is what? It is indirect. It's no longer passive active, it is indirect speech. And you have to convert this into direct speech. Now, there are few rules when we follow direct speech, okay? So, first, your told will be converted to said to. Second, you will have both the nouns, that is the teacher and Maria together, okay? Followed by the exact statement that the teacher would have said. So it should start with you or whatever, because here teacher is telling Maria. That is why it should start with you. Okay, that is why I wrote you. Okay, it should exactly quote the statement that was given by the teacher. Okay, so the told will become said to. Okay, this is again a slight spelling mistake. It is said. Okay, so what is it? The teacher said to Maria, you are not working hard. Okay. So now this is in direct form. So remember, this is the format of the direct. If it's a told, then it is given in indirect form. You have to convert to direct. So in order to convert to direct, what do you need to have? You need to have both the nouns or both the subjects at the beginning of the sentence, followed by a comma, and then start your double quote. Quote the exact statement that would have been said by the main subject to the secondary subject, and that's it. So the teacher said to Maria, you are not working hard. Okay, the others, if you look, say to is incorrect. Told converts to said to always. Teacher said Maria, no, has to be said to. Teacher said to Maria, this part is correct. She is not. Why when teacher call Maria and tell her she is not working hard? She'll call Maria and tell, right, you are not working hard, right? So that is why. Because we are quoting the exact sentence. Don't forget that. So your answer is in option number 2. That teacher said to Maria, you are not working hard. Now, the last but not the least question, give it a shot. It is a similar kind of question to the previous one. Okay. It says her mother ordered her to go to the kitchen and cook food, right? So her mother ordered. So if you read this order, it's something like imperative, right? It's a very imperative kind of speech. So in an imperative sentence, change. We do not change the form of the verb. Do not change the form of the verb. Okay, don't. So ordered will become said. Okay. Told became said to, but since this is imperative, ordered is imperative speech. So it will only become said, not said to. Okay. And the rest of the part will stay the same. Okay. Rest of the part will stay the same. So what will it become? It will be her mother said, comma. Okay. And inverted things open. Go to the kitchen and cook food. Okay. So it's going to basically stay, everything will stay the same. Instead of ordered her, it will become said. Okay, you do not change the form of the verb. If it is in second form, you always use second form. So ordered will become said. It won't be said to. All right. So where do you see? And you won't use said her also. No, that is also incorrect. Her mother said, just said that go to the kitchen, because if my mom is telling me to go to the kitchen and do, she won't say that, okay, come here, and then she'll say me. Like it will be specified in the statement that her. If she has called me, then she is definitely speaking to me, right? That is inclusive. That is implicit of no matter what you do. Okay. So it's not going to be said her. It's just going to be said. So her mother said, go to the kitchen and cook food. So it's an answer option 1. Okay, it won't be tells, it won't be asked. Okay, no. Her mother didn't ask, her mother ordered. So it's imperative form. If it's ordered, that means her mother is just giving it out that she has to do it. Okay, so it's more like said than telling her. Okay, all right. With this, we come to the end of the video. I hope this video was helpful and you have learned few rules. I will see you in the next one. Until then, keep learning and thank you.